We go back to our earlier story about the man who is being accused of setting the South African Parliament on fire. Earlier this afternoon, the Western Cape High Court has set aside the referral of Mr Mafi, the alleged arsonist, to a psychiatric hospital. Now, joining me now to unpack this story is South African editor Candace Bailey. Candace, good to see you, and apologies for that glitch about the first time. Now, what was the basis of the evaluation being challenged and the outcome that we saw earlier today?
Good evening, Suleiman. So indeed, the lawyers for Zandile Mafi have basically told the court that the application to have him sent for a psychiatric evaluation was unlawful and unconstitutional. And the basis of what they're saying is that the procedure that was followed was incorrect. They're saying that according to South Africa's Criminal Procedure Act, you cannot basically look at a person and say that they have a mental condition and that everybody is presumed to not have a mental condition. They're saying that if they wanted to send him for a psychiatric evaluation, there are certain procedures that needed to be followed. And the start of that is that he needed to undergo 72 hours of evaluation and assessment by an expert. And between the time that he was arrested and the time that he appeared in court, was not 72 hours, had not passed. So it was illegal for them to then produce this report, which was not based on a long-standing observation of that kind. So what we saw today in court is that the High Court called it unconstitutional and unlawful.
And if this has been so defined, does this now mean that Mr. Mafi will not undergo a psychiatric evaluation anymore? Could he undergo one, perhaps at a later stage?
He could indeed, Suleiman, but what they're saying is that the correct procedure needs to be followed. What his lawyers are saying is that at this stage, Mr. Mafi doesn't seem to have any mental condition, any mental illness or any mental problem, and that he's been corresponding with them and engaging with them. But so from their side, there's no point of him going for a psychiatric evaluation. If the state does feel that he does need to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, they would need to go through the 72-hour assessment.
So going forward, what happens to the man, Zandile Mafi?
So Mr. Mafi will be remanded into a correctional facility. He will be released from the Falkenberg Psychiatric Hospital in the morning, and then he would go to Pollsmoor Prison in Cape Town, where he will then stay until his bail hearing takes place on Saturday. So Mr. Mafi was due to have a bail hearing this past Saturday, but that was postponed so that his lawyers could challenge the referral to the psychiatric hospital. And now that has happened and that's now been overridden, they can now continue with the bail application on Saturday.
So Candace, before I let you go, let's not be lost in this case. Talking about investigations into the fire incident, are there any other developments on the matter?
Indeed, Suleiman. What the police have sort of kept mum, there have been reports that at least two people, two police officers who were on guard the night of the fire, in the morning of the fire, have been put through suspension processes and are going through disciplinary processes, but police have not confirmed this at the stage. What our police minister, Bikile, has told us is that he will take the country into his confidence in terms of what happened around the security measures, around the security breaches that we believe took place at Parliament, but that's not going to happen now. So for now, the investigation continues. They still haven't given us any more detail, but we are keeping an eye on it.
Candace Bailey, many thanks for unpacking this for us.